Hi, and welcome to another video in the RHCSA video series. Today's video is on build a practice exam lab. So as part of the RHCSA Slack channel, they have actually some a setup to actually set up a Red Hat environment to actually practice the mock exams they provide. So they provide a single mock exam, and this will just run through how to set up the environment for the mock exam, and then I will actually go through in the subsequent videos the various steps to complete the mock exam and make sure you have a full understanding of all the tasks that you would be required in that exam. So first thing to do is go to the Slack page. So I'll put a link below for this, and so you may get a login page, and you just need to put redhat certs as the Slack channel. That looks like that. So if they ask for the Slack channel name, you just put redhat-certs. So it's redhat-certs.slack.com is the channel name. It's just there. So once we get onto the page, it should automatically go to the channel practice exam. If it doesn't, then just click that on the left hand side, then click the little pinned items icon, click that, and on the right hand side, if you scroll down, there's an RD break post, and you can see there's a RHCSA practice exam for version 8. So we can actually open that in a new window using this button. So this is the optional automatic exam setup. So I recommend you do that because it's a good way to have the mock or practice exam set up in a way that they would intend it to. So it makes sure it's as close to the real thing as possible. So it's quite automated. So it's pretty simple unless you have any issues. Then it can be pretty difficult to diagnose. So I had a few issues along the way, so I'll kind of talk around those as I go along. So the first thing is to click the link there to load the GitHub page. GitHub is like a code repository on the internet, so you can see the automatic practice deployment, and just look for your release of operating system. So most likely everyone here is using Windows. So if you're using Windows, you need to firstly install the latest version of Vagrant. So that was where the first issues I had. So there's actually a version 2.2.11. Do not use that version. You make sure it's 2.2.13 because this actually works. So it looks like there was a massive bug in 2.2.11, so I spent quite a bit of time diagnosing it to find out they released a new version, and that version works without any issues at all. So yeah, make sure you download 2.2.13. Just click the download link there to download that. So I've already downloaded that in the background. Done. That's already done for me. Install the latest version of VirtualBox and VirtualBox extension pack. So if you've followed my videos before, you should have the latest version. If you haven't already, go through and download the very latest version. So 6.1.16 is the latest version as per this video. So just go to Windows Host, download that one, and also the Oracle VM VirtualBox extension pack. So that allows it to talk to Vagrant. So what Vagrant does, it's like an automation layer on top of VirtualBox, and it allows us to automatically deploy VirtualBox images. So it'll actually go out and download an image and then start it, and then also do some customization to the image as well. So it's really quite clever. We'll see how we get on with that. So when you get to so once you've installed Vagrant, so Vagrant is pretty much just a next finish job. There's nothing really to it. VirtualBox is the same, so I won't cover that. It's just literally just install it as you would anything else. If you really need help, you can view the community pages and stuff like that. And obviously, as always, you can put a comment below, and I'll try and help out. Otherwise, reach out on the Discord channel as well. So once you've got the Vagrant plugin installed, and you've got VirtualBox and the extensions up to date, we need to then run the following via PowerShell as administrator. So if we just type in Windows PowerShell, click the little arrow, and then run as administrator, and you'll have to click yes there. Okay, so you've got the Windows PowerShell prompt here. So the first thing you'll do, I think I've already done this, but we'll just run it for the sake of this. So Vagrant plugin install Vagrant-guest Ansible. So that allows us to run Ansible on within Vagrant. And Ansible is an awesome tool actually for Linux. Well, it's a lot heavily used in Red Hat anyway. You can use it to automate actions. So say if you want to deploy a particular package on 100 Red Hat machines, you can use Ansible to do that. So you can go and you can put it into a shared, perhaps an NFS directory, put it into that directory, and then use Ansible script to pull it down to local machine, execute the script, and then it can also give you output of the results. So perhaps you have a log file you want to write to, it can actually pull the log file information out and display it to you at the other end. So you can have it running at 100 machines simultaneously and then get the updates as they go along. And it also allows you to really closely align things, so you can have particular like a master config file, for example, for I don't know, your HTTP server, and you can then use Ansible to deploy that that file to all your HTTP servers, and then they will automatically be updated. So it's really quite a cool tool. It's a thing you can just install with yum install on Linux or Red Hat. So we just wait for that to do its thing. It takes a few seconds. So if using Fedora, that's completely different. So if you are using Fedora, use this guide. Obviously there's other releases and stuff you can do it with as well, so it's really good. So they now want you to create a separate bin directory, so just a directory to store all your the download of this. So you just need to download that and extract it somewhere. So I've just downloaded it to my D drive, and then just RHCSA, and then it will be a subsequent folder inside there. So yeah, unzip it in the above example, use terminal as root, and then just cd to that directory, and then Vagrant up. So just make sure this installs correctly. So this is where I had issues with originally with the with the 2.11 version of Vagrant. This wouldn't even install, just a simple install of the guest agent, which is fabulous. So yeah, Vagrant does seem to take a little while for most things. Just be patient, it will get there eventually. Cool, so we got installed plugin. So the next thing is to do the Vagrant up, but you have to be in the right directory to do the Vagrant up, because it needs all the relevant files to read out what it needs to do. So I'll just change to the D drive, and then I'll just cd to the RHCSA folder, and yeah, RHCSA 8 environment master. And if we just have a look in the directory, we've got stuff like we've got playbooks, which are where the playbooks for Ansible are. So Ansible uses playbooks to actually do its deployments. We've got Ansible config, we've got an inventory file, and we've got a Vagrant file. So the Vagrant file tells Vagrant what exactly to do with this Vagrant up command. So we just do a Vagrant up now. Oops, don't run it like that. So Vagrant up. And essentially we wait for quite some time actually. So it can take up to half an hour, this part, but you should see at the very end a success message. So we can see bringing up machine. The important thing here is you want it to say VirtualBox. So if you have anything other than say if you've installed Hyper-V in previous times, you may get issues where it won't actually deploy, it won't detect VirtualBox correctly. There is a fix for this somewhere, I've seen that. Help. There's known issues. So if it fails to build and if you have Hyper-V installed on the VirtualBox server, you need to do this, basically bcd edit, set hypervisor launch type off, and then reboot, and then run the command again, and it should solve it. So that's the common one. Also make sure VirtualBox has enough space on your hard drive, so I found that it's actually extracting onto my C drive rather than my D drive. So when it was doing the download, it's actually running out of space, because obviously it's quite a large download. It's going to do, I think it's like 6 gigs or so, and it's going to download that and extract that on that drive. So you probably need about 20 gigs probably of space to be able to do download, extract, and then copy to the correct place, and then eventually delete it. So make sure you have enough space as well. So I'll just pause the video here and then wait for it to complete, and then I'll catch up at the other end. Right, so when it completes, you should have something that looks a bit like this. So at the end, we should have welcome to the RHCSA 8 study/testing environment. So the repo server 1 and server 2 have been set up successfully. So if you don't get a message like that, then you have to troubleshoot what that is. Server 1 is rebooting, so it take a little while to come up. To access the system, server 1 is that IP, server 2 is this IP. Username and password is given here, so vagrant or root password. Access example, I would use this one, so just SSH root at whatever. So we can just use, you can use putty if you want to get to it, or you can use any kind of local terminal. So I use Kitty myself, so just launch that, and if I just do appearance, just make that a tiny bit bigger, so it's easier for you guys to follow. So if I just session, create a new session. So what I'd recommend is 150, and we just create a new one, call it RHCSA system 1, and save that. You can also enable stuff like login if you wanted to, it's up to you, but we can open that. Then we're gonna log in as, in this case I'll just do the root user, and we know that's password, and so we get a big prompt to say system 1 in nice ASCII art, which is pretty cool. So yeah, we can log in with that, so that works quite nicely. Let's exit from this one. So we do the same for the other one. So if we launch that, if we load that one, and we just change the details to 51, and then we just save it as system 2, and then open that, and just again just click yes for this prompt. Login as root password, and that should log in and got system 2 prompt. Cool. So that works absolutely fine. So there's also an additional server we don't need to really log into, but it's the repo server. So that gives us the repository, so that's how we can download packages and stuff like that. So one thing also to mention, finally, if you go into VirtualBox, so in VirtualBox now we will have 3 nodes. You can see server 1, server 2, and repo are running there, and we can actually just connect to the console. We can just click show, and we can see the console of that system. So if you need to do anything locally at this console, that will be a system to do that, the way to do that. So some of the tasks will be requiring the console access to change the passwords and whatnot. So that will be the way you get to the console for that. This I think server 2 has this, additional disks, so as part of the disk addition stuff we've got to do. Okay, so we'll leave it continue running in the background. So that's pretty much that. So let's just do a clean screen. So the final thing is with the Vagrant we can do, and again if we go in here and help, we've got the included system detail, all the IP addresses, DNS is all available here. You can see the appstream /repo is available in there, so that's the local systems. So multiple commands, the ones we want to know. So if you're attempting to practice an exam and you want to reset the environment, use this Ansible playbook. Vagrant up boots and provisions the environment. Destroy completely, it turns it off. Halt shuts down the environment. VMs. Suspend puts them in suspend state, and resume takes them out of suspend state. So you want to use the vagrant halt to shut them down, and the vagrant up to bring them back up again, and just to reset to clear it all up. So we'll just try that anyway. So we'll just do a clean screen again. And so it's just, we can try, first let's do the vagrant halt. So it's just vagrant halt. So again, you have to be in that directory so it knows the vagrant details you're actually requesting. So again, as always with vagrant, it takes a few seconds to, or a minute or so to actually think about what it's doing. So you can see attempted and graceful shutdown of VM. You can actually go into VirtualBox and watch that happen. To be honest, you can do exactly the same thing manually in here as well. So just wait it out. Essentially, it's going to do its thing. If you're really wondering, oh look, there you go, power server 1's now powered off. So it'll do repo now, and then that'll be powered off, etc. So it's quite nice in that way. And that's about it. So in the subsequent videos, I will go through the actual steps, but I recommend you now go through them yourselves and give it a go and see which parts you get stuck on. And I will then make a video in the subsequent weeks to cover each one of these entries there. They're actually here in the practice exam, so all the different things we need to do, and we'll complete all of those, and we'll see how we get on, and which bits we need help with, and you guys can obviously put comments on the videos as you go along. So yeah, I hope this has been helpful as always. On the screen now I've just put the usual stuff, so I've put the Discord channel, so that's where to ask the in-depth questions, because YouTube comments just don't cut it sometimes, so I can answer questions better in that place. Also, I've stuck my Ko-fi page there, so if you want to buy me a coffee, it would be fantastic. So just small donations can be put there, will be great to help keep this channel running. And then finally, if you're interested in merchandise and that sort of stuff, you can there's a link there to go and get some merchandise. So yeah, appreciate anything you put towards the channel. Just thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video where we run through some of the exam questions. Thanks again. Bye bye.